Matt Peiken here with the Wake Up Podcast, and I have a confession to make. I don't live in your city. I produce this newscast from all the credible sources of journalism and the reporters who make up your local media landscape. I try to get the names of people and places right, but once in a while I'll mispronounce something. So I want you to set me straight so I don't repeat the mistake. If you hear anything amiss or just want to send feedback on the show, email me at editor@wakeupthenews.org. All right, on with the news. Wake up, Raleigh. I'm Matt Peiken. Thanks so much for making it to the halfway mark of this week. Here's your local newscast for Wednesday, March 11th. A North Carolina State University professor is back home after being stranded in the Middle East as the U.S. launched war in Iran. Rich Spontak was traveling from Bangkok to Spain when he was forced to stay in Qatar for about a week. Airspace across several countries closed after joint strikes by the United States and Israel. Spontak says he feared for his life. Quote, "I would just keep looking out and looking for the missiles. It was dire." A Chapel Hill woman also returned after leaving Israel through Egypt. You can read more about this at WRAL. A federal investigation into Poe Hall at NCSU confirms elevated rates of certain cancers among former employees and students, but stops short of linking them directly to chemicals in the building. The National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health found widespread contamination from PCBs, which the agency has labeled probably carcinogenic and were banned in 1979. Among 4,660 workers studied, melanoma rates were about double the average, and breast cancer was also elevated. Investigators say more study is needed to determine the cause. Read more about this in the News and Observer. Raleigh leaders are considering higher downtown parking rates to address a projected $8 million shortfall by fiscal year 2027. City staff say revenue is expected to reach $16 million, with expenses at $24 million. Proposals include cutting free garage parking from 2 hours to 1, charging for on-street parking on weekends, doubling on-street rates to $2.50 an hour, and raising monthly and hourly deck fees. Staff say the changes could generate more than $7 million. Some council members and business leaders worry higher costs could hurt foot traffic and workers. Read more about this in the Triangle Business Journal. Wake County is moving ahead with plans for a new network of hiking and biking trails near Lake Crabtree County Park. Officials shared a first draft with the public yesterday. The trails would run through about 400 wooded acres on land leased from Raleigh-Durham International Airport and William B. Umstead State Park. The project follows the loss of a long-term lease at Lake Crabtree last year. County leaders say the combined leases will allow them to create a new off-road cycling destination called the Haley's Branch Trails. Read more about this in the News and Observer. And Wake County commissioners are moving closer to replacing the Athens Drive Community Library with a new building across the street on the site of the well-fed community garden. The current library shares space with Athens Drive Magnet High School, creating security concerns and limiting hours to 35 a week. The proposed 2.6-acre site is within walking distance of the existing branch, something neighbors have pushed for. The property owners are asking $1.8 million, above its $1.2 million appraisal. Commissioners asked the county manager to negotiate and report back next month. Read more about this at IndieWeek. Our free newsletter is a quick local news digest, essentially this newscast in written form. Subscribe at wakeupral.transistor.fm. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Wake Up Raleigh, and please share this podcast with your friends who care about this city. I'm Matt Peiken. Thanks so much for starting your weekdays with Wake Up Raleigh.